Hello, I'm Chris Casey.
And I'm Kristen Lagana. Happy New Year and welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. We hope you had a happy and safe holiday and now it's back to work. In this episode, we will talk with Fire Chief Allan Graves and tell you about the first county council bill passed in 2015. But first, making headlines. Snow, snow, snow. We had our first snowstorm of the year this week, and it wasn't big, but it hit at just the right time to snarl traffic all across the state. Forecasters predicted 1 to 3 inches, and we got a little more than that. It also hit at that window right where big decisions are being made to open or close. The fire department reported 150 vehicle collisions during the morning commute, most of them fender benders. One serious accident occurred that sent twin teenagers from Northeast High School to the hospital. Both were released later in the day, which came as a huge relief to the community. Then, as everyone got to work and school, the snow was pretty much gone from the roads. Chris, how did you fare in the snow?
Well, it took me 2.5 hours to commute to work. It normally takes me about 20 minutes, so kind of bummed out I couldn't go to the beach instead.
Yeah, there definitely was a day to wish you had some sun and sand.
How was your day?
It was also a little difficult trying to get to work in the morning, and one of those days where you just wanted to watch the pretty snow from the window in your own house.
Yeah.
With some hot chocolate on the sofa. So, did you guys build a snowman?
No, I went to work.
Not after work?
No.
Okay.
You know, it's got to sleep sometime.
I guess so.
We had another new face join county government this week as Wes Adams was sworn in as state's attorney. Adams was joined by a packed house of supporters at the circuit courthouse on Monday, where he gave an emotional speech promising to fight crime and protect victims.
My colleagues here from the defense bar, please know I'm a career prosecutor. I get it. I will work with you guys to bring cases, bring them fairly, honestly, quickly, to make sure that they're done well. I know how to resolve cases, I know how to work with them. To my partners in law enforcement, you will have no greater advocate and helper than me. I'm going to expect the same out of my folks. My folks know what to expect. They're going to work hard for you. And to the citizens here of Anne Arundel County, know that you have my full commitment to make our county as safe as it can be to live in and raise our family.
The state's attorney is the top criminal prosecutor for the state and has a staff of 47 attorneys, victim advocates, investigators, and other staff. Adams led the homicide division in Prince George's County for 6 years. He lives in Severna Park and has coached baseball for the Green Hornets. Adams joked at the swearing in that he always wanted to be a prosecutor, but if he wasn't a prosecutor, he'd probably be a baseball groundskeeper. So a groundskeeper sounds like a potential employment opportunity.
Hey, anything to get closer to those Baltimore Orioles, I'll tell you what.
Hey, there we go.
Speaking of jobs, County Executive Steve Schuh has made a major hire, bringing in tech expert Rick Napolitano. For the last 7 years, Napolitano has served as Chief Information Officer of AirInc, a major communications and information processing solution firm based in Annapolis. As Director of Information Technology for Anne Arundel County, Napolitano will be charged with updating computer infrastructure, as well as software used for customer service, document management, and a host of other tasks. In case you were wondering what AirInc stands for, Aeronautical Radio Incorporated. It was founded in 1929 and was recently sold for $1.4 billion. Chunk change, right? No. So I think it's safe to say, Chris, that Rick Napolitano knows a thing or two about computers.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm also a computer expert myself.
Are you?
Yeah, you know.
Impress me. How do you fix a computer?
Well, to clear the cache, you just turn it off and turn it back on again.
Oh, really?
No, I know nothing about computers.
Yeah, that was a good try there.
I know how to open my email and send emails and maybe do a PowerPoint or two.
And take it to Geek Squad when something's broken.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break here, and when we return, we will talk with Fire Chief Allan Graves. Take a look at our community calendar for events around town, and we'll be right back.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Welcome back. Joining us on Week in Review this week, we have Fire Chief Allan Graves. Chief, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
And we want to know a bit more about your background. How long have you been with the county?
It's about 28 years.
28 years. And where has your experience led you, and what sort of areas?
I pretty much worked in most of the divisions within the department. I started out as a firefighter, just like everybody else joining the department. After that, I went to the hazardous materials team.
Wow.
And so I was there for a while. I was in public information and public education, where I did so much like this, and also we did educational campaigns about fire safety and injury prevention. And I spent a lot of time in the fire marshal's office, both in code enforcement and fire investigations. So I have both of those areas, and also in operations both as a battalion chief and a division chief.
So you've pretty much dabbled in all the areas there really is, and that's led you here to this current position.
Yes.
So how has your first month been?
It's challenging. It's what I expected, and it's very busy. And we're a large department, and there are a lot of things that are going on. We've been working on our organizational structure. I really want to make sure that we have the right people in the right places and the right positions. And one of the things we're looking at is span of control. And in the fire department, our span of control is basically 3 to 7 kind of functions or people that are managed, with 5 being the ideal. So we're trying to look at our different areas so that we have our sections where we have people work toward managing either 5 functions or 5 people. And also looking at, do we have the right people in the right spots? Do they have the right experience and skill level to be in those spots? All with the goal of making us as efficient and effective as we can.
It's definitely a goal we can all agree with.
Absolutely. I understand you got your start as a volunteer firefighter.
Yes.
How has that influenced your leadership style as chief?
Well, first, my volunteer experience, I enjoyed it immensely. It was a time, I started when I was 16 years old. I gained some adoptive fathers, mothers, big sisters, big brothers. But it also gave me an opportunity to take on responsibility at a young age. So I was kind of allowed to make little mistakes at the time,
Sure.
and they weren't as involved. Mm-hmm. So, but I was also able they helped me learn from it and move along. And that it also, I think it set up a good foundation for me in my current job. Along with that, it gives me a perspective. I was able, as a volunteer, to rise up through the ranks and be a volunteer fire chief of 2 stations. So now, rising up through the ranks on the career side to the fire chief role, I think it gives me somewhat of a unique perspective where I can see issues from both sides, from the volunteer side and the career side, and hopefully use that experience to work to a solution, a resolution that is fair for both sides.
Back to the volunteer work. Are you from this area?
I moved here after I got the job here, but I lived in Prince George's County. I was born in Washington, D.C.
Oh, so neighboring county. You've been in the area. That's really
Yes.
great.
Yes.
So a big topic of conversation has been the ongoing trend of fire departments switching mainly from fire suppression services to EMS services. Mm-hmm. Is that trend going to continue in Arundel County? Is there more you could tell us about that?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to build is a department that's responsive to whatever risks the community faces. It's no secret that EMS is a big part of what we do. I think what gets hidden in that is that although EMS calls and calls in general have increased, the thing we found about fire calls and also the other non-EMS type emergencies, those have kind of been steady. So it's not like they've been going down. So we still have to be prepared to handle those. And if anybody who has suffered through a fire in their home or fires in businesses, the impact is great and it's long term. So we really have to be prepared to address those things as well. So we can't, it's that balancing game. We want to make sure that we locate our EMS units in places where they can respond quickly with the right people. But we also, along with that, need to make sure we're able to handle the other emergencies as well. So we're working on that. We're building our data systems and data analysis so we can actually try to follow the trends, see the trends as they're coming, put the resources in the right places, as well as hopefully be able to predict them so we can get a little ahead of that so that we're able to react to it and prepare for it.
Wow. And do you have any last bits of advice for any young firefighters that might be out there watching, or anyone who wants to pursue firefighting?
One, it's an excellent profession. I think that starting out as a volunteer is an excellent way to kind of get exposed to the profession. You have the opportunity to either be on the EMS side or the fire side or even kind of special ops things. So there's a lot of opportunities there. And we also, it's surprising, I guess when I started it was most people were high school graduates. There were very few college graduates, and these days now we're getting people that are also, that a majority of them are college graduates. So it's still the thing, you get the experience being a volunteer and you still pursue education and do that, and it's a great place to be.
Maybe there's hope for me yet, Chris. What do you think?
Maybe.
Maybe a good
Might
firefighter?
Might be a
Sure.
new job
I think
opportunity.
I think I could. Yeah. Well, we want to thank you for joining us on the show today.
Well, thank
and
you.
don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Week in Review after this.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back. The County Council passed its first bill of 2015 this week. By a 4-3 vote, the council removed the special exemption in the zoning code that would allow a developer to build up to 22 units on a property that's zoned for 2 units. The special exemption was for workforce housing and was approved by a prior council. Opponents of the bill wanted to keep the exemption for future projects in different areas of the county, but one particular project slated for Severna Park had neighbors upset. Supporters of the bill said the county needed to find better ways to increase affordable housing in areas that are zoned for higher density construction.
Attention history buffs. Ever wonder where Tick Neck Road got its name or who that Arundel lady actually was? Well, you need to head on down to visit the county's Historical Society, of course. Our own Victor Henderson did just that and sat down with Becky Morris at the Kuethe Library in Glen Burnie. Victor.
Thanks, guys. We're at the Kuethe Library with Becky Morris. Thanks for having us today.
You're welcome.
So tell us a little bit about the library.
Well, the library is shared between the Anne Arundel County Historical Society and the Anne Arundel Genealogical Society. We house thousands of books and photographs and documents and maps on all aspects of Anne Arundel County history, and a lot of genealogy on the families of Anne Arundel County.
Yes, we've seen a lot of that. So tell us a little bit about the Kuethes.
The Kuethes were, well, they still are, a big name in Anne Arundel County. They are philanthropists back in the 30s. They decided to give to the county a library because there was no library for the public in this area. So in 1932, they dedicated this building as a library. It served as a private library for years under the auspices of the Kuethe family, but it was open to all the people in the area. In 1958, it was taken over by the county library system, and the need for the reading public quickly outgrew the capacity of this building. So when the county built a new library over in Arundel, they decided to, they gave this building back to the Kuethe family, who decided to turn it over to the Anne Arundel County Historical Society for use as our headquarters building.
Okay, and you're located in Glen Burnie. Can you tell me where?
We are located in Glen Burnie at 5 Crane Highway, which is between, on Crane Highway between Central Avenue and First Avenue. Our operating hours are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday between 10 a.m. and 4. And we welcome anyone coming in who is interested in history or genealogy of the area. We would love to see you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Glad to have you.
Anyone can come by and visit the library at 5 Crane Highway. You can also call them at 410-760-9679. And back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Victor. We heard he didn't want to leave that place, Chris.
Hey, you know, Victor's easily amused, but
Have you been to Kuethe Library?
besides that, I have not been there.
I have not either.
But I plan on making a stop soon because
Yeah, it looks really interesting.
It's amazing how much history Anne Arundel County actually has.
That's very true.
It's amazing how many people don't know about it.
Yeah,
So
we should go.
let's go.
Let's go.
Maybe
Hot
a
chocolate.
future week in review segment. What do you say, Dave?
Dave's going to treat us to hot chocolate, too.
All right, sounds good.
Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by searching Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.